What's up, guys? I am here today to do a relatively quick review on my new jacket. This is the Icon Overlord Resistance Textile Jacket in black. So, I did a previous video on my prior jacket, which I still have and I'll still wear from time to time, which was the Icon Overlord textile jacket. Similar name, very different jacket, and that one served me well. So I thought I had a unique opportunity to upgrade to a coat that I had been looking at since, honestly, a bit before I got my first bike. I had always seen this, thought it looked cool. Finally had a chance to grab one, so I did, and now I want to talk about it. So I've only had this for, I want to say, about a week, but it's long enough that I feel like as an owner I can kind of talk a little more in depth than just the standard review. You can see the basic features and stuff on any video if you go to, Revzilla, Motorcycle Superstore, whatever. Now, granted, I cannot talk nearly as quick as those guys, and it'll take me a little longer to get through things, but then I can also give you some impressions as an owner. I will start from the bottom, work my way up. I will talk about the features, and then I will address the things that I have noticed. The first thing is, it's cool, they give you the attachment down here if you want to connect the jacket to your, I believe they have an actual Icon Overlord Resistance riding pant. I don't really see the need for it myself, and I really don't feel like dropping probably what would be around $200 on a pair of pants. When I ride, typically my riding pants and my work pants are the same. I typically wear some Carhartt, like double front, like heavy duty canvas pants. Check those out if you guys haven't seen them. Like, they don't come with any kind of like knee protection or anything, but there are even like pockets that you can add them to, and a lot of people talk about how those fly under the radar, and they have gone down in those, and it really will protect as well, if not better, than some riding pants. And they're like, I want to say like 35 to 50 bucks brand new. So totally different issue, but I wanted to kind of drop that in case you guys were interested. So like I said, the little pant attachment there is cool. This is their attack fit from Icon. Most of you probably know what that means. For those of you that don't, it's basically the more form-fitting coats that tend to be longer in the back and shorter in the front for people who are in like full tuck on a bike. I ride a Kawasaki Versys, so that's more of an upright seating position. It doesn't really matter to me so much, but I could see how that would be useful for other people. At the very least, I know my ass isn't flashed into the world when I'm riding, because this is, nice and long in the back, so I'm fine with that. When I first took this out of its packaging, the very first thing I noticed, even before I was like, wow, this looks really cool, is it is heavy. And I bring that up because this is mostly a mesh jacket with like textile elements to it, right? So it's probably half again as heavy as my old Icon jacket, but it's really cool because out of every motorcycle jacket that I've had, and I've gone through 3 now, I've, full transparency here, I've only been riding for about 6 months. So I don't have like a ton of gear, but I've tried to be really selective about what I get. But this jacket flows more air than like any jacket I've tried, and it's the heaviest jacket. So I just thought that was really cool, because like the weight, when you're holding it like by the hanger or whatever, you're like, man, this is really heavy. When you put it on, that weight is like so well distributed, it doesn't feel any heavier than like most other jackets, at least to me. And like the safety features, I feel super protected, and I was worried when I saw kind of like it seemed a little bulky that it was going to be super hot. I live in the desert right now. It's early July, and I'm riding in 115, 118 degree weather. And I'm not one to, squid around or whatever, but I did do a test. I sucked it up and said, if I die, I die. Rode around my neighborhood. The only gear I was wearing was my helmet. Nothing else, just like normal street clothes, t-shirt for the rest. Came back, put this on, went out and rode around again. It was cooler wearing this than in just street clothes, and I thought that was really amazing considering how solid this jacket is. So like working my way up here, throughout the jacket, they have, it feels like some kind of dense foam sewn in, and I figured at first, I was like, it's just, the aesthetics of the jacket, but that it's really solid. It feels like it would be pretty protective. You can see it's here, across here, and they have more in the arms and the back, which I'll show you. But it's awesome because all the stuff in between, this is all a really fine mesh, all up in here, throughout, like that. It lets in tons of air, but then you still have like the really heavy protective textile material, right? So as we go up a little more, then you've got, I really can't think of anyone who would look at this jacket and not think Batman. Like, how could you not? So when I had seen these in the advertisement, like on the website, because I think I was browsing it on Revzilla originally, and I was like, wow, big like chest protectors, whatever, looks cool, but it's going to be protective. No, it's really just flimsy, like thin rubber. It might offer some like abrasion resistance if I was sliding face first, in which case I think I'd have bigger problems. But it's something, and I'm cool with that. I guess it's my own fault for like maybe not doing a little more research beforehand, thinking these were more solid than they were right here. But even here, all around this, and especially in here in between, more mesh. Keeps you totally cool. Up top by the neck, you have a snap closure and heavy-duty YKK zippers. That is one thing I want to address right from the start, because I had been doing, like I said, a lot of research on this jacket, and I had seen a bunch of people said, I ordered this jacket and like the zippers keep falling off and there are no zipper stops like anywhere on the jacket, and a big oversight by Icon. Now I will give them several of those reviews were fairly old, couple years, but then I saw a few that were within the last 6 months to a year, and they were saying the same thing. So I was like, you know what, I'm getting this from a different source, so I'm not going to order it online, and I'll kind of touch on that when we come to price. But I was a little concerned about that, because it was like, in my situation where I'm getting this jacket from, if that happens, I can't return it, there's no exchanges, whatever, because I got this from someone. But when I got it, I had them send it to me, and no issues, because zipper stops everywhere here, up top. So either, here, even on this little one where the pants attach, there's a smaller one. So it's one of two things. Either people just got like defective jackets and weren't really sure, which I would have a little bit of a hard time crediting that one, because I saw like so many people having the same issue, or Icon was like, oh crap, we screwed up, let's fix this, in which case I'm assuming they did, because kudos to them for that. How many companies are just like, we've got your money, now deal with it. On the inside, it's, kind of the typical thin inner jacket mesh or whatever. Nothing super unique about that. With several Icon jackets, from what I understand, and then the two that I own, they try to kind of like flex into that like cold weather riding gear as well. And for that, they sent like a quilted internal liner, which obviously I'm not riding with that in damn near 120 degree weather. That would be insane. I did bring it here so you guys could see it though. It's even branded Icon Overlord Resistance, and it looks like it would be really warm, all quilted and whatnot. It's super thin, like deflated down comforter thin, guys, like no joke. So this might help cut the wind when it comes through the mesh. It might help block some of the wind from you. This ain't gonna keep you warm. It's not, I promise you. And I tested it in my other jacket, because that one came with the same basic liner, except it was silver, because the other jacket's white. And I got that one early in spring. It was still like 45-50 degrees. Like, I don't get cold super easy, so I rode with it in to test it, and then I took it out. And I was like, you know what? It's a little more room in the jacket without it, and I don't notice a huge difference. So it's cool that Icon gives you this, and it might help for some people. Just don't expect this to be some like super insulated liner, because it's not gonna flex into that capacity. As with most Icon things, They come with the D3O armor, which I absolutely love. My first jacket was not an Icon jacket, and it had, to its credit, all the armor, back armor, shoulders, elbow, and all that. But it was the more like standard, kind of like rubberized armor. And I have a piece of it right here so we can see what I'm talking about. It was the CE rated Vault armor, and yes, it's flexible, but it's a little more stiff on the edges. And obviously this is shoulder armor, it's not going to go here, but I'm showing like if you try to bend, even though it's flexible, it kind of digs in, it wobbled around. It wasn't great. I'm sure this would protect. I mean, it's obviously better than nothing, but it was not super comfortable, which was one of the first things that got me into Icon to begin with, because a lot of their stuff comes with this more upgraded armor at not an additional cost, so that can go. The D3O armor, for those of you who know it, I won't talk about it too long, but I want to kind of give a little bit of a look for the people who don't. They call it, what did they say? It's like a molecular lattice work with the way this stuff is made. So it's super, super soft and flexible. It almost feels like taffy, like kind of tacky and stretchy or whatever. And you would think, like, how would that protect me? Because I can take my finger and push on it, and I swear it almost leaves a fingerprint. Like, it's so soft. But they claim that when a force, like a solid strike, impacts it, the structure molecularly goes rigid for a moment. And that basically absorbs most of the impact, spreads it out, helps protect you. And so if you can see here how it's kind of squishy as I'm poking at it and how flexible it is, but if I hit this, like, that hurt a little bit, and it was like I was punching a wall. Seriously, it was like punching, you know, a drywall inside your house or something. So zero doubt in my mind, you know, knock on wood that it never happens, but if I were to ever go down in this, that this would protect me pretty well. And it comes in the back, it's in the elbows and the shoulder pads. So that's cool. They give you like the full suite of armor. And in case all the Icon logos everywhere, inside, outside, front, back, and up top wasn't enough, they give you a little Icon branded hanger for those of you who don't remember what you bought. So continuing on. Inside here, they have two little pockets, which my other jacket had ones almost the same. Pretty close. There were two small pockets here that I cannot think what the purpose of those would be. They're not zipped up, so I wouldn't trust anything in these. I mean, yeah, your jacket's closed, but stuff can still fall out. And they're so small. Like, I can't even fit 2 fingers right there. You could fit a comb there, maybe? I don't know. But I would almost rather they have just left this off than like try to give the illusion of more utility. And I mean, yeah, like in this one, you could probably keep driver's license and credit card or something, but would you really want to risk that when right up here you have a zipper pocket? This one, tons of utility. This is where I will keep anything important if I don't want to carry a full wallet when I'm riding. My phone always goes in here. But yeah, I mean, driver's license, debit card, you know, concealed carry permit, you know, health card if I'm going to work, basically any sort of card thing that I need to take, I'll keep in here. Solid YKK zippers. Great, I don't have to worry about it. So that's good there. On this side, 2 more little useless pockets, whatever. And inside, a little mesh pocket. So again, I don't know how much I would trust keeping something in here when I'm riding. At least this one, though, there's a little more space. So you're probably going to get a little more utility out of this pocket. That's pretty much for the inside. They do give you sewn-in washing instructions, which is cool. A, if it's your first jacket and you're not sure how to take care of it. And 2, since this is a hybrid jacket, meaning that it's got textile, but then it's got like the rubber and the built-in armor stuff that you can't take out, it's good that they tell you how to take care of that. Because my other textile jacket, I don't want to call it a mistake, because honestly, I haven't seen any ill effects. But I took the armor out, because you always take the armor out before you clean it. And I threw it in the washer, just basic laundry soap, a little bit of fabric softener. I didn't try to dry it. I just hung it out to dry. I've done that a few times before I found out, like, oh, you're not supposed to use most laundry soaps on it. You're never supposed to use fabric softener, no bleach. I mean, bleach, I feel like it's kind of common sense if you realize how damaging bleach can be to just, fabric of any kind. Like, it can damage it after a while. So I never really thought about that. But I used all that stuff. It softened up the jacket just a little bit where it wasn't quite so stiff. I didn't see an issue. But with this, at least it tells me what to do and what not to do, especially with the more hybridized jacket like that. So enough of me rambling on about that. If we move on to the outside, I showed you all the vents and everything. If we look at the arms, same sort of thing. More of that built-in padded protection, which is super cool. You've got these look almost like arm guards right here, but it's that same like super flimsy material that the chest panels are made out of, which I think it's more just for looks, and it looks good, and with some more mesh vents in between. Okay, so we're going to talk about what is probably my biggest gripe of this jacket, because it just doesn't make sense to me. So it has this snap closure and then a zipper, which you'd think, cool, hey, adjustability, whatever. But if you have to open this up, you don't want to ride with this flopping around. I tried it once, annoying as hell. In the jacket's defense, with this zipped close and snapped, I'm a big dude. I'm like 6'4", I'm about 270, and my hands and arms fit fine through here with everything shut up. So that's not a big deal. But the fact that they put this here at all kind of perplexes me, because say you unzip this to keep cool, or you just have like gorilla wrists or whatever. If you close this, it's now right back to the same size it was when this was zipped closed. So having this open isn't going to grant you any more space around the wrists. So sure, maybe it gives you a little more space here, but your wrists are still going to be kind of confined. And if you have this zipped up, again, there's no point to have this at all, because it's not really changing anything. So one of two things. Either they should have just done away with the zipper and the snap and just made it like straight down with like a neoprene cuff, which some of their jackets have, or just done the zipper. I mean, seriously, like, that way you could have at least had some like genuine adjustability without this stupid snap in the way. It looks cool, but I can't really speak to its functionality. So maybe there's a reason for it, and I'm just too dumb to know it. Would not be the first thing where that happens. So don't take my word for it there. If we go back up, more super heavy duty textile here, even heavier in the arms than in some of the other spots on the jacket. So I showed you the padding, the vents here. Then we get to what really impressed me about this. Here in the elbow and in the shoulder, you have external, like, molded in TPU slider sort of things that are like rock solid. So not only do you have that protection on the outside, but you've still got the D3O armor inside. So you have like the soft, comfortable, like high-tech spaceship armor inside, and this on the outside. I love that, because I really feel protected with that. They also give you like the accordion mesh, which really helps for flexibility if you're trying to move around. Because again, with this attack fit jacket, expect it to be a little, I don't even want to say snug, because my other attack fit jacket, that one was pretty tight, and that was a 2X. This one, also a 2X, so same size, same brand, same supposed fit style. This one is more comfortable. Like, it's form-fitting, but I don't feel like I'm trying to squeeze into a sausage casing before I get on my bike. So this one is definitely an improvement. But they give you this so it can be snug, but still comfortable, and you still have good range of motion. More vents, more mesh, and all that. As we move up, even more padding here, and then the same sort of TPU protector in the shoulder. Once again, Icon branding, which I swear to God, if I were to count all the Icon markings on this, it's probably going to be about 106. I don't quite I feel like that's a little bit overkill, at least on the blacked out version of this. It's not as noticeable as some of their other jackets, but man, they really love their brand. but I mean, they probably should. They're awesome. They're awesome company with really good gear. Above that, even more stretch paneling in the shoulders, so that's great. And again, like I said, with this, behind this, you have the actual C, or not the CE, but the D3O armor behind this for more protection. The collar, thin little piece here. You know, I want to call it neoprene, but it feels somewhere between like neoprene and suede. So I don't know what that is, but it's really comfortable where it impacts your neck. And this is also a super low collar, which I love that, because the jackets that have slightly higher collars, they will either catch on the base of my beard and like pull the hair, or especially if I'm trying to use my GoPro. Right now I'm talking with my helmet on. You'll hear weird feedback and stuff, like scraping noises, where like if I'm turning my head back and forth, the slightly higher collar of the jacket will like rub and you can hear it, and it's just a pain. So this jacket does it right, I will say that. If we turn it over, now one of the coolest parts of the whole freaking thing. More padding all the way up the back, along with more mesh venting in here. But then you have this really cool back protector. And this is somewhere in between. Oh, look, Icon. Just in case you forgot. It's somewhere in between the more aesthetic ones, like on the chest, and these right here, just like super flimsy decoration sort of thing. And these, right? So it's thinner than these and definitely a little bit flexible, which makes sense because it's your back. You need to be able to move a bit. But it's solid enough that you feel like you're going to get some protection. Vents all the way through it, up in here, even underneath this, vents. And then underneath that, you have your D3O backplate. So that's super cool, super protective. I love it. I mean, I've had this a week and I've got more compliments on this jacket than I have either one of the others that I've been wearing for about 6 months. So that's definitely a thing. That's pretty much it for the jacket. One thing I will say, back to my gripe about the cuff, is, and I actually brought these just for the sake of this. This is the Icon Overlord Resistance Glove. When I knew I was going to be able to get a deal on this jacket, I figured I could probably spring for the gloves to have a matching set. So I'll probably do a review on these gloves here shortly, so I don't want to talk about them too much. But I will say, even with the matching gloves that are designed to go with this jacket, the way these cuffs are, and this little like micro Velcro closure here, is interfered with by the cuff of the jacket, by this design. So I don't know if this was just supposed to be aesthetically similar to this whole jacket, and it was supposed to be, you know, just kind of like sets in terms of looks, but it's really annoying trying to wear these gloves with that cuff. And I feel like that was kind of an oversight. That being said, I like the gloves well enough. I'll talk about that in a separate video, so these can go now. And I love this jacket. Like, I really do. It's super comfortable. It turns heads. People are impressed by it. Not that that's the main concern, but, you know, someone says, hey, that's a cool jacket, man. You're like, awesome, thanks. Nothing wrong with that. And I would not hesitate to buy this again if I was in a position where I could have paid that kind of money for a jacket retail. This probably would have been the first jacket I got. So even if you have to pay full price for this, which from what I'm given to understand is anywhere between $330 and $360, depending on the sizing, because obviously the bigger size is like when you go from like tiny to regular, and then once you hit like the fat ass stage, which is what I have, you know, things get a little more expensive. So I would pay full price for this if I was in a position to just drop that much money on a jacket, even like knowing my little gripes. So my gripes, mostly just the cuffs, which, I mean, still look fine, just the functionality is a little weird, and the loose threads. If those are my only complaints about something like this, I can totally live with it. So guys, I would definitely recommend this jacket if you're looking for something that's going to look cool, it's going to protect you, and it's going to keep you cool. That's a big thing, especially if you live like I do in the Southwest where it gets really hot. As far as patterning goes, there are two options available on this that I'm aware of. The black version, which they call Stealth, and, you know, they're not kidding anyone. They wanted to look like Batman. That was the point of this. But if you don't want to look like Batman, you can also get a black and white one and you can look like a Stormtrooper. So you can be like Batman and hit everything, or you can be a Stormtrooper and never hit anything. So I mean, those are your two choices. I mean, make them as you will, but you really can't go wrong with either one. That's about it. Guys, if you have any questions about this, if there's anything I missed or you want to know about, or something you caught that I got wrong, you know, comment down below, let me know so I know what's up. I like trying to keep a dialogue going about stuff, absolutely. But seriously, Icon Overlord Resistance Textile Jacket, look into it. It's a fantastic thing. If you're looking for something like this, you're not going to regret it. I appreciate you guys watching. There's going to be more coming. Stay tuned.